Hey guys, it's Stark coming at you with another game of Total War 3 Kingdoms. We are the Empress Zheng Jiang, and, accept no substitutes, although there are other claimants to the throne. Just a quick look at the map right now. That's us in Korea, that's us in the north, that's us in Chu. And there is much and more to address with what's going on, so we're just going to jump right into it. Now on this front, we just want to finally get this fool who has been running around landsless for a while, just making himself a little bit of a menace. And then I think we're going to drop this army. We will employ this guy, because, he ran in the woods for a while, and I admire that. Alright, we destroy that faction. This guy gets to level 2. Nice enough. We're going to drop this one because we need to recruit an army over here, because Meng Huo and Lady Zhurong are going to be over there post-haste. And what we want to do here is just get a nice, strong army here. Who will it be? Dianfeng? Well, he could very well be down here, and there's no reason not to make it him. And we will bring with him the Minister of the Guards and Chu Gong. And this is Yang Feng's wife. That's why we didn't adopt her. That's right. And yeah, so they can't get to me in one turn, and that'll give this army, the time it needs to jump up and become scary. Of course, with just a little bit of help, an army on the inside of a place can take care of some Nanman, right? It can do. Now, what we want to do now with Zheng Jiang is say that this guy can hold the city here, and, one more army over there may be called for in the long term, but we are going to just chase Chun Yuchong here. So we'll just grab this province. That'll put him real rock in a hard place, and probably should have brought the other army up for the strengthening of the auto-resolve. It will not be the end of the world. It will not be the beginning of the world. It will merely be an event in the world. And what we want to do here is just go ahead, mustard. And I don't think they can get over to me there. No, indeed they cannot. What we want to do then is just get along the road. Now on this front, we need to leave somebody over here eventually. Ma Teng can't be, trusted. He is, however, broke at the moment. Yes, because he's having to pay me tribute. So he's getting whittled down to size. We just need to keep on chasing this guy, and then this army can go up to sort of deal with the looters as we get there. This army is permanently the garrison of the north here. That's, that's what it does. It passes the butter. But we are getting a zound of reserves per turn there. So yeah, it has not very many right now, but it'll get tons more, and then with this army garrison in it, we can be pretty confident that we'll be able to just press back anything there. Because if they come in and hit some minor settlements or whatever, that's not the end of the world. We just need enough to be able to anchor our holdings while the others get back to it. Speaking of this army, we'll go this way, and I don't think they'll try to, break for Hedong, but they could do. And now, taking Luoyang, or taking Hongnong here in the province of Luoyang is very desirable. We're just going to wait. Wait to turn, double ambush here, and see if they'll move up. If they go to the pass, they'll be able to reinforce there. We can afford to take our time a little bit on this front of the theater of war, and then we're just gonna move right up here. The very sneaky, very invisible army is here. Got the Lord of Fire set, gives you a charge bonus for own army. That's going to get us in our quest to get over 1,000, right? But it may not happen today. Perhaps in the future. I'm going to save real quick, because we've been doing a little bit of stuff here. And now it'll be time for everybody's favorite, the Wulie Theater. Now, we beat up on him incredibly badly. Last time, Cao Cao's army got crunched. We beat 3 or 4 forces over here. I think it was 4. And what we're going to do now is get it done. We're going to hit here. Now, this army has trebs. We are going to be able to bring up enough to clean this up in the auto, because these are all the armies that we just beat in the field, as you see from them being incredibly crunched. We got level 8 guys here. We got Zhu Chu here. We got all sorts of Imperial forces. So this is going to be very nice indeed to get rid of. We're just going to zoom up there. And Lady Du is in March here, which means she can't run. And a nice piercing John Madao there later, and we have knocked her down. It would be great to get her into our forces, right? Because well, you know, they've got the Imperial troops. We can't recruit them ourselves, even though we're an emperor, because, you know, it's fine. I don't mind. But there we go, and then we'll just the Zhanbei riders here, you know, which we're holding on to because they're like his trademark. Do we want this one, or they already got ballistic rain and flames of the Phoenix? I guess guerrilla deployment. No, the battle speed. The speed will be good. That'll you know, against Cao Cao it won't compare, but it'll at least be something, a little bit of something. And we'll just move this way. Because even without share the spoils right now, we have 44% replay in here, which is good enough. We don't even need to worry about share the spoils when that is what we're getting. And then, yeah, we'll just take this auto here, which will roll up all of these fools. But go to the last video if you want to see an awesome sort of like, you know, like a 3.5 V4 or 3.5, you know, a real big brawl. I think it was like 3 of my stacks, and then we had like a garrison that was involved as well. And it looks like we're not capturing really, you know, the people that we would have wanted to capture here. Will we capture this huge city? Another immensity. And we get one of these military settler things, so another seasonal retinue bonus to us here. So this is very nice indeed. And what we don't need is all these commerce buildings. Ooh, finally a Grand Academy, marvelous. You know, I was waiting for one of these. So this is you know, the character experience faction-wide building, and we will certainly be holding on to that. And then, yeah, so the settler, this one, we might hold on to, actually, just for right now, because it gives us campaign movement range. There's no reason to drop it, actually, because it gives us campaign movement range, but we'll cycle that out here in a second. And this one has all the agricultural buildings. We are still making absolutely just a mind-blowing amount of food off of farming, which is excellent indeed. Gongsun Du is riding, you know, I'm pretty sure he's trying to go to war here with Cao Cao, because he's in the Empire. And even though he hates us, I don't think he would dare. It's Gongsun Kong now, of course. It is no longer Gongsun Du. And this guy doesn't like us, which I can't imagine why. Well, you know, we get 4,000 in trade from him. Our trade is actually pretty impressive. Alright. And then that in mind, we've got him to level 5. Very nice. And then... coming across the top here. That means he can grab a headhunter, and he can grab a fiery fella. And I think we'll just go more Fist of the Bandit Queen here. Yeah, you know, this army was light on the melee. We'll have 2 horse archers, 3 crossbows, you know, and that's good for, you know, it's good for an army to have a little bit of its own identity at this point, given that we have so many armies. And we can roll up here, and he is getting the old axe to the face, the old 1, 2, 3, right? And clearing up a ton of armies here out of Cao Cao. Now his satisfaction is probably fine. He's an emperor, but we'll just be keeping an eye on the candidates for our faction here for the next couple of seasons, because people hate losing battles terribly. It embarrasses them, and so on. And what we're gonna do is... Right, we'll have 5 there. Do we want to keep this one on this side of the mountain? Yes, because we don't really need anything to defend Poyang here, given that everything here is going to roll over, and yeah, we're going to be meeting in the middle here pretty soon, which is great. You know, I keep thinking, like, where are my armies? Well, you know, 5 of them are here. 5 of them are here, and 12 of them are there. Before long, it's all of your armies. Now, the Kingdom of Wu loves us, but that doesn't mean... That doesn't mean too much. We can get tribute from the Kingdom of Wei. In fact, he desperately desires this. However, not while he has his Emperor's Seat, so let's just keep it moving forward. We'll probably have at least one more massive fight against Cao Cao before it's all said and done. Can we get to him here?
冷静沉着，正在行进。为了天下和睦，万物失节，奋力一战。
Because we get him here, and if we get the pass brought out, which we do, you know, the problem is, I don't think we can capitalize and besiege the pass this turn, but what isn't a problem is that, you know, we took the fight, and that's all that we gotta do, you know, get the army out of the field, because maybe he'll be able to get enough seasonal retinues here, but no, he actually just runs all the way back that way. Good for him. And the Liu Bei is very rock in a hard place in here. Like, maybe he ran into this area because there's no way to go forward here. And we're just going to go to ambush. And if he tries to come and hit this army, then we'll all roll in. And I'm not really that upset that we took that fight because it takes him out of the running for a while. And hey, at this point, we can afford to be a little aggressive with an army or two. So on this front... we're just gonna move like so. That's gonna get us into position to go up there next turn. Alright. Beautiful. Very nice. Alright, and that's everything. No, we still have to do spy stuff and reforms. We're going to save before we do spy stuff, just in case we crash a thing. We're finally getting into our power base over there. And here we get access to Imperial Defenders who are like, you know, juiced up Spear Guard. Very good. Of course, it's a little late in the game for us to care about such things. And here's where we get the Wulie Fighters, who I actually am more than passing interested in getting. Might of the Valley are, like, fine, but I don't think... You know, they do, like, really solid AP stuff, but the thing is you know, we've got other really great axes that do AP. But yeah, the Wulie Fighters, though, I totally believe in these guys with Slayer Heroes. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab that. Get a little bit of damage on the melee infantry. And it represents how our forces have grown. What we're going to do is go in ambush and hope to be able to revoke him 2 mistakes. And then on this front, you know, Yuan Shao and everybody, Yuan Lu and Zheng Jiang, we're just going to roll up the coastline here and hit the pass and then just walk into Jing. That's going to be the plan. And then from there, you know, we'll try to provoke an immense battle with Wu somewhere, as well as moving all the other armies down. All right. Everything is awesome. Everything is so good. Spies. All right. Let me run some interference just to test what's going on. And we need to find people that don't have that -50 from recent events on them. All right, about 20 to get it done. Because we need somebody that we can make upset so that we can make everybody upset. But if we've specifically insulted a lot of these people, like, why not? Well, not him, because that just barely... I think the 20 was like the wearing down of a previous one on him. Here we go, maybe her. There we go, now we've got it. Alright, so 44 for the cost here, but... we need that spot open. We're going to be able to get somebody from Wu that's good before the end of this turn, right? We've got a lot of points here to spend on faction discredits. And once you can get it on a couple people, then you can roll it in on the others. We will have enough for one more of these, which we will spend on her. No, we've got enough for one more again. 44 is the number you need. Alright, so we got a little gung-ho there and went over the top. Alright, we've got enough for one more here. He can do one more. And that gives us access to, well, a large number of upset people here. There we go. There's Yuan Shu. Come and join the party, buddy. And he immediately comes in with enough to discredit their faction a little bit. So we're going to do a little more. Right, he's got one more. So what we're doing here is just smashing, like, all the way through Wu's satisfaction. And no matter where their generals go, right, it's going to go to a place where they're not able to use them. And so that'll help us. And also, we might keep the eye to here, you know, like, because we might, with this, what we're doing every few turns, we might be able to, like, get Lu Bu out. But making the whole satisfaction thing tanked for them for a bit will definitely pay us some dividends. I mean, it already has. We've got some cool general turncoats from all that. We've got Zhuge Liang in there. And we'll probably, you know, get him implemented soon enough. And he says, I'm going to pay you so much money. It's not really good enough for me, Cao Cao. I am made of money, my friend. I make as much money as he promised me there. We make above the dividing line every turn. So, good evening, Ellie. But now that he's, like, not going to have peace, the game has to think super hard about what he's going to do. This is fine. He must have just, you know, gotten 5 or 6 armies spun up because he just lost that many. Get wrecked, Cao Cao. Get wrecked. But accordingly, we see where the Emperor is here in the pass. Now we're going to just want to back up a little bit so that we can get our replenishment. And we've got enough armies over on that side to quite handily deal with the problem. Over here, so we actually need to do this battle so that we can get rid of this guy. Now we're probably going to be able to do it because we got a couple red cav and a bunch of other troops, so we're just going to sit over and do we have internal towers here? Probably not, but they have nothing but cav, which does okay work, but I think they'll probably do it all in one retinue. Yep. And we're going to assume that they're just going to come at us, and because if they shoot these guys, okay, yeah, whatever. But our towers will be fine. And now they, you know, they bring their troops in, but what's it going to do, right? We're going to charge here, and charge here. Because our defensive troops still have our crazy charge bonus, so we just need to draw them into a place where they can't get around us, and these heroes, they're not going to be able to deal with even 2 of these bandit raiders, because these bandit raiders aren't like normal bandit raiders, right? They have double the charge bonus and double the morale, which means that we have won already, you fools! You've fallen victim to one of the classic blunders. But we just charged the guy, and the infantry here. And I think actually my red cav ran away there, but it's okay because they are all running out of ammo now. And there we go. I'm like, I'm not gonna lose this. What do you mean auto-resolve? I'm clearly not gonna lose this. Yeah, heroic victory, because I'm a hero. And that's what heroes do. He falls down. Looks like an heirloom spear. Maybe give that to me, buddy. You won't be needing it where you're going. It is an heirloom spear. I finally played the game enough to see the skin of specific items and recognize them. And it only took 450 hours. And the Duchy of Zhongwu and Gongsun Kong, their flags look very similar to my eye, and their guys that are in charge of them also look similar to my eye, but that is okay. And a bunch of those spies left because the heat got too hot. But what's important is we have another one already lined up. And what we want to do now is actually get some spies in with our Empire guy, or just like one, to see what we got going on there, see what we can do. Yeah, we discredit our own spies so that we can make other people more upset. Hey, it works, right? Alright, it won't let us deploy him. We'll workshop that. Alright, how about you? Maybe the slot wasn't interpreted to be open since we canceled the spy, and now when we go back, we'll be able to do it. That's exactly what happened. And we'll take this opportunity to discredit more of the faction. Spread a bunch of scurrilous rumors. There's nothing extra going on now, so we're just going to hit this one too. Go down to 1. Why not? Anybody in the pool? Hey, this guy. Actually, pretty nice movement speed there. We're just gonna hold on to him for a bit. Is Liu Cong even a guy anymore? I mean, yes, but I doubt he's sending out spies to me. He could be, though. Well, we are at war. I bet actually he is a spy. Let's get rid of him. But we'll be expecting lots of unhappy people here in the Kingdom of Wu, which is good because, you know, they're trying to kick off on their own. So finally using spies a little bit. And now it's time to keep it rolling over here. Now this army got very tuned up. It's getting put back together again. Here, we just assume they don't have anything over here. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. And we hit the mustard there. Go back out. That way, even if somebody comes in from nowhere, we'll be able to get it. But now with this reinforced army there, it'll be okay. On this front, can you make it to the iron mine here at Dongping? Yes. The fabled iron mine. So years ago, last year, whenever I was first playing this game, we were doing our Zheng campaign at 200. I like could not get this iron mine, and that was like, it was an incredibly big problem for me in the campaign, because this is where we started in the campaign, just like in this one. However, I didn't do the sick move. We didn't go over there. You know, it wasn't the same thing we were doing here at all. But what we can do now is use this, the Army of the Invisible Elephant.
憧憬胜利，尔等必将无往不利。 我军势力得以扩张。
You know, why don't we... You know, let's change these White Wave Horsemen to Zhongnu Cataphracts. Now, there's, like, better Red Cav we could do, but these are, like, in the spirit of it, you know. Heavily armored Red Cav that can stand up and fight. Now, some Daring Daredevils would be alright. And actually, because we don't have a single unit of such things here, alright, but... We actually need to get some stuff rearranged in this army anyway. You know, we'll take one of them here. Why wouldn't we? They're so cool. Alright. Now, he does not need these White Wave veterans. They can be literally anything else. But... Defenders of Hebei? Well... I mean, they could be, but... It's not like a good answer, because a good answer is either just like, you know, hidden axes, followers of the flame, yeah. And so for her, having these guys as your invisible ones is not actually that advantageous, right? Because you sort of want your shielded units to be visible, actually. Which means, alright, let's get Zhengmu set up here then. These Watchmen of the Empire can be a follower of the flame. And a defender? I mean, these guys are totally fine. They'll be a protector of Earth later. Why not be a defender now, right? No, because they could be... They could be Fist of the Bandit Queen, just like I always wanted. And these guys can become Imperial Guards. No, they actually need to be. The Spear Dudes, don't they? They do. So do we go Javelin Spear Guards over Watchmen of the Empire, or do we go with Superior? The Watchmen are much tankier and punchier when they hit things, but you know the Javelin Spear Guards have their own benefit. You know, let's try them here, right? Let's see if we get the value there. And they inherit... Oh, yeah, she inherited the lady's retinue. Alright, so everything there is good. And on this front, we just still need to swing these armies this way. We don't need anything up here. I even think that's true. The computer doesn't scheme like we do, so I do not think that Gongsun Kong is going to, like, go over here and then declare war on me, even though if he did, I could hardly hold it against him. It would be a sick move, and it's just what I would do. That said, if he does it, I will destroy him. We're going to chase that guy, probably never to catch him. But here in the trees, Chun Yu Chong, it looks like he's going to try to encamp and take this fight against us, which is awesome. Love that for him. And as fun as it would be to beat up on them, we're just going to keep it moving. We're going to have a really huge fight before too long. I have a feeling that we'll get another big one with Cao Cao. So as fun as a 1v1 where they're sitting still is, and it is, you know, we're just going to keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. And with a nice little stabby, of course, we gave her the G of Guard, the Solemn Trust, because her whole army is fatigue immune now. And, you know, I like you, buddy. I like this weapon a lot, though. You're 70. I mean... Is there anyone in my faction to speak for you? No. You know, you're a cool guy, and I liked you a lot in our Yuan Shu campaign. Don't hold it against me, old pal. It's a really good weapon, okay? It's, like, really, really good. Massive damage and 20% speed on attack rate. Just really, really punchy. Don't know who we're going to give it to yet, but we'll find somebody. One of the kids, perhaps. If the game goes that long, which it might. But we are also starting to get everything rather into position, right? And when Cao Cao falls, you know, depending on how much we let him stay alive in the timeline, you know, it's he may not have too much at all to go on. What we're gonna do here is just move into the past, because if they want to bring both of these armies against us here, then we will just rip their faces off. And the White Horse Raiders, for all that they, you know, will run out of ammo or whatever, at 500 charge, you know, they can still solve a problem if we get in there. But we're going to be hanging out there in the pass, and now, you know, are they going to go across the water and move in here? I do doubt it. And this big old negative loot to enemy armies will start kicking in before too long. So I just have to assume that they're not going to be happy about the fact that I've got two armies here in the bush. We're just moving up the way there. No doubt being interrupted in our movement by one of these buildings. It looks like we really lost a lot of movement when we stopped here, right? But that is okay. Everything is going all right there. Garrison force there. And he will be able to dissuade Queen Zhurong next turn, because they'll be in their full fettle there. Very, very fettled. 3.9 million. A reputable amount of money. And it'll be nice to get Yuan Shu out. And again, she might, because of how the Love Sister works, like, we might get some nice Imperial units to go with our other amazing units. Wanjing gets leveled up a little bit more. We'll try to get him into an army before too long, right? He could, you know, maybe he will meet one of the girls when they grow up, which is, again, just like 4 years away in 220, so we'll see how it goes. I don't think we're really going to be in that much of a position to fight Wu for about that many years, but time in China moves slow and then it moves fast, you know.
静候。快去！杀呀！马上攻击！ 三思而后行，以柔克刚，难以达成。开战！
Alright, time for a fun little battle at the pass, right? Right. Now, we could just take this auto. However, we haven't done a pass battle in a bit. And Cao Cao is here. You know, the Emperor is here. I think that's his wife that's here. And that's Su Chu. So, you know, why don't we just do it?
我无意争夺龙椅，但绝不会任你如愿。
And, you know, Cao Cao may not have too many more opportunities to fight. Can we vanguard to the other side of the map? Oh my goodness. Well, you know, that is good to know, right? It looks like our trebs are just going to be... vulnerable to counterfire right out of the jump from their Bastion artillery, but they also are in a bad spot, so maybe if we just center them, we'll be fine. So what we really got to do is just get up in there, right? We just got to make contact with the enemy. We just got to brawl. Because we can just, like, crack... The center wall is indestructible, but we can crack just, like, anywhere on this wall, and... You know, I don't love what we're doing right here. Because the thing about their best artillery is they will break... They absolutely will break our trebuchets, and our trebuchets probably won't kill them back. So, you know, we're getting a little bit... We're getting a little squirrely here, given that I don't have a plan. That's not true. I'm going to crack the wall and run in. We see how badly the White Horse Raiders are doing unsupported. This is why we brought everything. Because, you know, I'm going to get inside and then have a fight is absolutely a plan. And this wall is about to crack. And now we're in, baby. And this is totally a plan. Everybody in. Absolutely identical to having a plan. Because now Zhu Chu is like fighting headhunters. And we're going to hit our bulwark here. Get off of the horse and start hitting the man himself. I think this guy was already very hurt, but, you know, he also might die here unless he has resilience, because, you know, what are you going to do, right? What we are going to do is hit a sick knowledge of the body heal here, and then get in for a sick knowledge of the mind hit. Flames, roar, let's get in here. Zhu Chu is a brave dude, but he can hardly stand up to everything in the world at one time. And there we go. We're inside. And we're now using our little Taoist ritual. These guys are on the wall already. Let's take the tower. And over on this front, we are failing to get in, but we've got the Bastion artillery down. This guy does not need to get embroiled in the middle there. That's not what we need. Oh, and, oh, well, it looks like that guy fell, but on the good note, so too is Zhu Chu gonna fall. But we need to get our leader out of there, you know. It's all well and good to be fighting right here, but not in the middle of their forces, right? This is perfect. You might look at this and think, how is this perfect? I'm like, well, it's very good anyway. We're going to try to take this wall. We're fighting as your dragons here on the wall. That seems okay. You know, the thing is that because we are underneath the towers, we're still taking a ton of damage here. The Trebs are all out of ammo. We're going to withdraw them. But the thing is once we get inside, we are all the way in. So we're going to get a flank with all of our very high quality infantry, and they're going to have a bad time. Ah, the Emperor! Cao Cao's here. I'm like, will you duel me? I think he might win, but we're gonna challenge him anyway, right? No, we're not. He has 119 evasion right now. Okay, his ability's on. Okay, well in that case, we will duel him. Right? Well, we need Zhang Kai to show up, actually. Is he here? I'm like, actually, I don't think it's a good idea to duel him. Because he's mad. And just as their ranged units kick on there, we start fighting. We're exhausted fighting these Azure Dragons. It's okay. What we want to do now is move in this direction. Well, somebody freaked out. Cao Cao must have popped somebody. It's alright. You know, the armies of... it's all another opportunity to bring more armies in. And this is like, I'm not good at the game, right? I would not be winning this if we didn't bring so many armies. This is like not smart. And there, Cao Cao falls. But now we're like in with this blob fight. We're gonna be able to get a lot more. Get the lady down there. Just pull everybody in here. Because once their Lancers are just like fighting us, I mean, sure, they got 100% melee evasion now, but let's juice ours a little bit here. Just charge back and forth here. More people coming in all the time. And, you know, we have more reinforcements. They don't. And that's the important thing to remember, as it looks like we are getting totally beat up here.
停住！哈！敌军士兵正在溃逃！快快快，速速前进！准备就绪，诛灭敌军！
But we get a nice AoE heal knowledge of the mind there. The cavalry's fine here. We're getting inside there. We're gonna go over the top here. Because the thing is, as I keep repeating to remind myself to not be worried, we have huge replenishment. We're gonna be in a gate pass, which means we get the replen there. We know they can't follow up with their armies because we have a pretty good idea for where they are. And while we could have done this in a smart way, that would have taken longer, and this was fun. And this morale splash here, when he hits this knowledge of the body on him, it should crumble some of these fools off. Because what you really need against Gate Guard's 86 melee evasion, what you really need is Wisdom of the River, right? That's what lets you, or, you know, people on the wall shooting. That would be good too. Bum 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 bum. But the really important thing is there were very few moments when we had the crossbows just shooting into our guys without being punished for it. And those are the really high damage thing. These armored archers, they do okay damage, right? But we end up chasing down the armies of the Emperor Cao Cao. Which, you know, he was a good friend to us basically the whole playthrough. Always did what he promised. Never backstabbed. It was us, you know. We got upset. We got upset when he called himself an emperor. We thought there should be only one. And we thought, this will surprise you, that it should be us. But we take a super messy fight, and one of the armies wasn't even in full form, you know. I think, actually, we weren't going to have very many more reinforcements there, but we did know what would be there. An Imperial army, you know, and they sure fought bravely. And now we can take the Hulao Pass.
潮起潮落，足以磨平巨石，为天下苍生。向前进军，出发。
And Zhang Yi, looks like you're on the wrong side of the river, buddy. But with that, Cao Cao on the back foot again. His wife's probably pretty upset with him too, and you know that's not good for him. A fine fight. Sure, the auto would have done it quicker, but it was fun, you know. It's fun to do a little siege. And from there, we're just gonna failed to quite get all the way there, but that is alright. Liu Qi is, you know, he's doing his thing. We all like to learn at our own pace. It might be nice to get another army in here. If we do, we'll just drop something over here, and reposition it. Because we don't have any more army slots. But everything is wonderful here. We're bound to get a couple more level 8 people before too long, which we'll need to catch up with Cao Cao, who's now getting more and more of the Imperial armies there. Do we need to move away from where we are? No, they cannot get to us here. Every time we get one of those, because it reduces the percentage that you have to pay for your troops for, like, the iron mines. So it's like you get, like, 2,000 because of the expenses. Of course, you know, at positive 200k and 4 million, you hardly have to worry about the future, and yet it's important, you know, because there's a lot of children in the Zheng clan, and, you know, our daughters and our daughters' daughters, and one day our daughters' daughters' daughters, you know, and they will all need to be provided for as well in our eternal kingdom. So, for the sake of all the daughters, we're going to keep on going and getting as much tribute as possible, because everybody knows with one hyper-successful warlord at the start of a dynasty, there's literally no way anything could ever go wrong afterward. Ooh. Oh no. Well, it looks like it's time for a brawl here, because what happened was, I didn't think Liu Bei would come up here with the distance. Well, you know, we only have one reinforcement army. We still have ours, so we got some beat up guys here. That is a problem, because a lot of our reinforcements, yeesh, you know, this is rough. However, we do have, you know, a full complement of infantry there. This is gonna be a tough one. Let's see how it goes. You know, the one thing that we definitely do have going for us, though, is that all of our cav is super messed up. We've got our trebuchets. So we'll just find where the trebuchets are, stand up around the trebuchets. They've got some real good heroes, but with our Zhanbei headhunters, we'll be able to make quick enough work of them. Han Jian will heal slowly through the fight, so we can use him as our champion. And yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Why am I worried about it? It's Liu Bei. We'll be okay. And with Huchuan, we also have mending, so we're actually going to be able to heal up a good amount of what we've got. We don't have any. Oh, so we're not getting our benefits here, but all of our reinforcements are coming from right here, so we're just going to fight where we can get the trebs, probably like right here. We're gonna send the reinforcements from the place, just the 7. I mean, I guess maybe they'd be fine, but it's just so few guys, and I would rather get the trebuchets on the field. Now these cav are super beat up, but ideally we'd be able to hold on to them for a little bit of the fight. But if the trebs aren't coming out, then we have to drop some of these dudes, like, immediately. We'll just drop all that cav. I need the trebs here. I need the trebs before this fight starts. I have to have them. Oh no, oh, I'm not thinking either. Okay, so we've got Northern Courage on all of our cavalry. We only have 8 minutes before they all run. This is pretty bad. Alright, we just need to get a move on. We'll try to start the fight over here. Because we absolutely need our cavalry to be here, right? Alright, so we get some Qin Royal Guard in. Alright, the good news is they're not just, like, waiting here, so... Yeah, we need to get our trebuchets in. Alright, who do we drop? The good news is that our guys are quite strong now. And we're just going to run forward and start shooting them up a little bit. Now, they are faster than we are, but there's some bad terrain in the middle. Alright, 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all they can spare. And we'll run these watchmen off if we have to. I need these trebs. But here, we've already got them provoked, and we're just gonna start, you know, using the horse cav for what they're for. Alright, there we go. We got 3 of the trebs here now. That's what we have to see. There we go. Alright, we have 6 minutes until the cavalry kicks off, but that'll be plenty of time. I am no longer worried. We're gonna be fine. If we can draw their cavalry into us here, we'll be even finer. But the Cav Archer's doing a great time. Having a great job. Dealing with the foes here. And the Trebs are just moving into position. We don't need them for the cavalry engagement. So it's actually okay that they're not in position yet, I tell myself. What we want to do now is just get out here. We know that the cavalry won't be able to do anything if they run out of their juice, of their morale, so we're just going to charge in here on these tiger leopards, get our marauders and our group in here, because no matter what happens on this front, we've begun the fight exactly how we needed to. You know, they're far from us. Now they got huge evasion there. We're going to bounce out for 30 seconds, because no matter what doesn't include what if they get 100% evasion from an ability. We're gonna duel Cao Jin there. But all their cav is having a time, but we just need to run everybody in. We can reposition the cav later, right? Because this brawl is going to determine the fate of Middle-earth. And I'm pretty sure we win this duel. You know, we might have been better off without having the duel there, but what we're going to do is just hit a nice heal here. And an evasion pop there, because we know that if they run, that means we're already winning. And unfortunately on this front, we get rather caught out in a clumsy way. Here, we just want to... We'll get an AoE heal on everybody there, and we'll do our splash damage here. And then we're going to score and lock him down. Liu Bei is about to die. Hopefully he's not oath-sworn to anybody here, right? I joke constantly as I play the game. Oh my goodness, no, you're kidding. One stinking unit gets around me. I don't notice him at all, and all of our trebuchets are offline. Wow. That is brutal stuff. I can't believe I did that. They got me, you know, I was focused too much on this. Our Axe Warriors just stand there and let it happen. Jeez, alright. Well, the good news is everything's going well. I lie. Man, you know, we might lose. We might lose. I can't believe I did that. That's so bad. The whole reason everything was fine is now over. I think we might lose. I think we might lose. But we have a ton of infantry if we can just get them engaged, which again, I don't know if we can. Because boy, oh boy, was that ever... Because we could have just... We had the units there to get them off, and we just let them run over all of it. Terrible. It'll probably be okay. It might not. We might lose. If so, then we deserve it. And the other armies of the Empress will have to pick up, you know, from our failures. We need to get into the back line here. Well, you know, at least he won his duel. He probably could have affected a lot more not in the duel, but that is okay. And, you know, maybe it was good, because now they're all running. Well, you know, Yeah, You know... You said they were stealthy? You know, they actually might have been... Because I think someone in their... I was looking earlier. I think someone in their army has a thing that gave their whole army I'm invisible. And I actually think they might have been stealthy. But they also might have just slipped around me unnoticed. Hard to believe that a guy like me, lauded for always having paid an adequate amount of attention to everything, could let something slip by, but it could have happened. I'm willing to entertain the possibility, if even only for a brief moment, that I could have made a mistake? Mistake? I don't know all these French words. But reports of my own death were somewhat exaggerated. And, you know, we were beat up. We were needing a hero. And Han Xian, the hero duelist... And, you know, the healing, right? Because the healing hardly hurt. But now that we are among the ranged units, there will be little and less that they can do. Although, yeah, one of these armies is invisible because some of these dudes are just, like, showing up. But I do not know though, if that is why we didn't see that particular unit. But I think it really might have been. I think it really might have been. I'm glad you appreciate my style. You know, the thing I like most about making these videos on the internet is that it lets me talk constantly, giving me, you know, like, sort of like throw in darts, how you'll hit a bullseye eventually. You just gotta believe in yourself. and maybe we'll get out of this alive. No, we're all in an area where we can reinforce, not reinforce, yes, reinforce, but also we're in an area where we're replenishing a huge amount here in the gate pass. So, for all that they beat us up here, what they also did was use all of their movement coming into my zone of control and lose a fight. Which means we're going to get put back together adequately. And, you know, the trebuchets, I can't believe I blundered them like that. And yet I totally can. Why? Because we didn't set up like a defensive zone, right? I just said, we'll move them over here, we'll meet the foe, I bet we'll deal with the cavalry. Well, yeah, I bet we will. But maybe we'll get Liu Bei, that would be nice. He's my buddy, he's my pal, he's my special guy. Yeah, see, look at that. So these guys, absolutely, yeah. Snipe, stalk, yeah. So they have the thing that my assassins give our guys. Not this assassin, I think she's a regular one, actually. Where they can make their whole retinue, or the husband, Cao Ren, can make the whole retinue invisible. And yeah, at least some of the crossbows Imperial ones had that, which is not a thing they always have. And if Liu Bei's Lancers there were actually invisible when they showed up, that would make me feel, you know, not good, but better.
我军智略胜敌军一筹。
But it could have been these cavalry. Yeah, because it's... Yeah, this book here. The Book of Concealing Method, which gives his whole army stalk and snipe. So, yeah, so that actually... That would have been a tough battle regardless. Hopefully we'll take that away. Hopefully Liu Bei will join us. But he does not.
放了吧，无法为我军所用。
And it looks like over at the gate pass... The Gu Pass? No, that's the other one. Cao Cao has made landfall on the other side of the Yellow River. With this entirely beat up force, I do not know what he thinks he is planning. Could be something cool. We'll go in here, take Luoyang, which is the second of the historical Han capitals, although we're not restoring the Han or anything. Zheng Jiang hates the Han. She has a bunch of opinions about them that are objectively, like, you know, linked to facts. You know, they're corrupt and blah, 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 blah. You know. My girl. Qin Zhurong's my favorite. She is of the Nanman people. She's a fire lady. I love her so much. Her campaign, the first time I did it, I was having such a good time that we took over literally every single place on the entire map because I didn't want it to end. That is called painting the map in the parlance of strategy games. And usually a person will do it a time or two, but not forever. And here the looters continue taking our lands up in Shuofeng, which means we are going to have to deal with it. Because for all I know, they'll keep on coming down. Looters are like spawned via an event by the Han faction. Somebody has... Yan Yan has died... to old age, I think, actually, because he was 65. Well... Alright, who shall we get? It doesn't give you a sorting option whenever they die of old age, so you just have to find who you think is best. Alright, so his retinue is very good. We could give it to like a lower level person and just be like, bam, there you go. Now it doesn't matter that you're lower level. We've already got a Cav General here. Do we have like a lower level Sentinel that we want to get in? You know, let's just give it to Zhuge Liang. Why not? I mean, there are reasons why not. Mainly that he's already a good enough level to get something that he would actually be good with. Alright, let's just find somebody for this. We are dilly-dallying too much. This guy's a thief. That's a good guy. A gift horse, we will take the work of craftsmanship. Yan Yan dies to natural causes. You know, he didn't fight for us for that long, but he fought for us for a bit, and he was in many great battles. He was a wonderful duelist, and, you know, a strong fighter. We shall never see his like again. Save it since the turn happened. And yes, look at them here. So this person besieges the gate pass. Because he can get the garrison reinforcements here. I'm like, do we have night battle? I don't think so. Alright, so here he can hit Liu Yong. This is perfect. No, we'll hit the starve out. She'll come down out of the hill to reinforce this fight. Comes down, we get the auto here, and that is going to allow us to... Man, Liu Bei giving his whole army stock is actually scary. Hey, Luke. How goes the Empire? Well enough, you know. We had a siege battle where we popped Cao Cao and Zhu Chu, you know, who were inside of a gate pass, and then we just had a big knockdown drag out. Liu Bei has the item where his entire army has stalk, snipe, and guerrilla deployment. You know, the guerrilla, the computer doesn't really do that too much, but stalk and snipe with Imperial units is pretty rough, and he totally got on my trebuchets, on my 4 trebuchets, and I did not notice till they were gone, but we ended up getting that, so good stuff. Chun Yu Chiong, we popped him because I wanted his spear. He was 70, you know, what are you gonna do? This guy, for all that... I mean, he's level 7. He has nothing in his retinue. I think we just get rid of him because he's too dangerous to be kept alive, and I want the heirloom spear. So here we... This, and also he's like, you know, they came to invade my lands and all. What we do now is knock him off of it. I'm like, I don't know why you think you're going to be able to get away here, buddy. You are not going to be able to get away here. I need to go to Mopping and yeah, the other sides of everything. Good times there. Finally getting Northern Captain's Line, nice. We finally got in a bit more in in Wu and cracked it open a bit more, made a bunch of people upset, got Yuan Shu as our spy, so we'll be able to pull him out and put him into into Yuan Shao's army for what will be the ultimate meme. Maybe we can find another eunuch to give him. They can conspire together. I actually I'm living for the character assassination. That's my reason for breathing at the moment. Take that, guys no one likes. We did the one things that you were not likely to do. And we'll take tenacity here. Also, look, I'm finally appreciating that you can just check and see what the set bonuses do, because this says 25% melee damage, own army, and I kind of love all those words together. And the commander one is 10 melee evasion, own army, and that actually makes me think. The things I'm doing right now, I find exactly the opposite way. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, join the bandits, hang out with your eunuch buddy, revel in the 100% corruption, roll around in the snow about it. Alright, this army now has sort of served its purpose up here. We're gonna drop it to get another army over in Shu province, because we want the Empress and the Yuan army and stuff. We want all of them to be able to get over here, and that means we need more forces in the south. Speaking of, Menghuo will be here. This place has 265 reserves, which is plenty. We just need to accordingly get somebody here. Alright, who wants to be brave? Who's got a big army? Now, Li Shi, you are incredibly old. That makes me think that we should give you a good army and that you would love to defend against this. And Sun Yi, it's time for you to get blooded in the service of the Empress. Oh yeah, you got the Merc Infantry, that's funny. Who are actually amazing, right? But there are no hidden axes who are amazinger. Actually, the Merc Infantry are very good, but if there's one thing I love, it's some efficient cavalry while you're in a siege. So the other thing, Luke, is I don't know when you get him. Is it level 6? We'll have to check. Because you get the daring daredevils, the daredevils that dare, and they have fire arrows, you know. And so they're a fun little late game thing for shot cav. Plus, you know, they're the Ganning units, right? That you get from researching your network right here. Yeah. Because they automatically have the fire arrows, so that's a good way. So if you're going in that direction with your bandit thing, the lack of fire arrows will be a thing you barely feel as long as you get one of them. But I think, you know, I'm not sure what level you have to be to get them. And maybe maybe they're more restricted. But, of course, here, Zheng Jiang gets to level 9. And she just needs to grab Followers of the Flame. Yeah. Means Gunning has an interesting campaign. Yeah, you know, starts with shot cav, missile archer, cavalry with innate fire arrows. It is actually the perfect unit for it. Everybody gets the fire arrow as soon as they recruit them. We're just going to keep on rolling up here because, of course, these armies have nothing to do but win.
离我掌握天下又近了一步。
And Chao says, we did end up giving him the blue blade. I figured, just lean into it, Just lean into him having that crazy attack rate.
绝不动摇，开战！目标只有一个，振作起来！
Most of your fronts have been passive for you. Huntington with 3 armies in front of sound pass to nothing, not even sieging. Nice. It's not good to be so lazy, old boy.
吾有要事与谋士商议。
Never heard. Oh yeah, we got Wuling fighters now. Let's get one of them, because I like that better than the headhunter, right? Because you don't have to worry about them going away. She's level 6, and of course, as such, why don't we just get a bunch of trebuchets, actually? And then she'll have a bunch of trebuchets, and then if she ever moves on, then we'll have a bunch of trebuchets. Ideally, she'll survive exactly long enough for one of the mastermind kids to grow up, and then right then we'd be able to give them a treb stack. He isn't even 30 words, but you want him to get there. 90% late in the ambush stance, all Cav army. Yeah, why won't he come inside, you wonder? The water's fine, you lie. And here, we're going to give him the wall. Because this is pretty cool, right? The Imperial G is great anyway, but you get the wall, and then you get charge negate for your whole army and these formations. It's just so good. It's just so good. I can't believe it took me this long to read this set bonuses. I imagine they're changed for the mod, but maybe they aren't. Some of them are quite good, right? Huang Fusong's bow is still there. We gotta decide who we're gonna give it to. We might just wait for one of the kids to grow up. It's not too many years. But, are we going to use it at all? Because, honestly, 4 years might be the very end of the playthrough, right? That's 20 turns. And we are about to get considerable tempo right here. Because we are moving in. We're going to be at the Imperial City. And then from there, we're going to be able to immediately get whatever we want out of Cao Cao, right? Like, whatever we want. So we have the huge movement right here because of the building, which allows us in this stance to get all the way up here.
正在行进。
And I don't think there's anybody here. We're just gonna besiege it. The classy slow way. Crushing defeat, if we have to wait a turn or whatever to do it. So what? And then here we will carve up. Yeah, let's just get this one going as well, just to... Get it here, and then from there, of course, we'll be able to roll up the final ones there. And if he gets something in those places, that'll be much less advantageous for him than, of course, getting behind the wall. So, and he'll have plenty of armies to recruit. This guy, we hardly want him to be there. Zhong Kai is doing fine. And here, we're just going to wait our turn, right? They're not going to come back right now. We might as well go to ambush, though. In hopes that they might move into it, because, the generals are fine, and this stack of melee infantry is mainly healthy, and that's enough. Like, 10 units of hidden axes win fights. We've got big things and big plans, right? Let's give you a better weapon. That's a big plan. We do have another master's leather. I don't think we have anybody to take advantage of that with here. But yeah, Liu Bei, this item for snipe, stalk, and guerrilla deployment own army is just, it's pretty nasty, right? But Chu Yi gets to level 6. And you know, he'll get that missile attack thing pretty soon. Maybe remember Jushu before? He was Yuan Shao's other good advisor. Yeah. Don't know whether to expand aggressively or have Jagan and the Emperor. Oh, yeah. How do you deal with this war? Less difficult to get along with. Yeah, because we very clearly need to get an army up here to deal with this. Do we send Clint Eastwood on such a marginal task?
正气如火，熊熊不息。
向前推进。
Kung Fu Song in here. He doesn't have his bow anymore, of course. We stole it from him fair and square. Level 9? Has teaching assignment. 35% character experience when present. That's pretty cool. So they're enemies with the whole leadership. Got captured all of Guandu and Satsai. Very well, but Jushu and Yuan Shao is killed. That's been pretty good. Oh, very loyal indeed. Then that's the time when you could get a better job from a guy who isn't lost. Oh, this is the Guoxia guy, and then Jisai. Well, he's level 9. And stocky. You know, let's keep him up. Let's keep him up. Maybe he'll see things our way. I do actually quite like doing a release the first time for basically anybody. You know, because then if you capture them again and they don't want to join you, it's like, look, I tried.
正义必胜，我等应设宴庆贺。统一行进，向世人宣告我军大业。
我的目标十分明确。
Mustard. Make that saves like very little money on spear infantry, but it's okay. It's not about the money, it's about sending a message or whatever. Alright, so we're all fine there. And the armies of the Empire, you know, because, hey, to be fair to him, and I am being fair to him, as soon as he took over for his dear old dad, he immediately was like, I'm gonna go to war just like Dad said he was at war. I'm like, remember how he just sat around the whole time? He's like, yeah, you know, he didn't do a great job at the war. Hey, Chunying, I know you. We just captured you, or let you go, rather. I bet that's why he likes me now. It'll take a little while for him to be up to be able to withdraw, but we'll just pull him out. A level 7 Vanguard, you know, that's classy. On this front, this army, well, you know, gets up on it. Isn't enough to do much, but stand invisibly out of the walls. Say Yuan Shu's been very loyal to me for some reason. Well, you know, he didn't like want to be a spy. He was just a spy when we broke it apart that one time. But you know, he wasn't in the turncoat thing without my efforts. But yeah, you know, it's pretty funny how much of because I mean, he paid me the whole time he was around. Then he joined Wu, which hurt my feelings. But to be fair to him, we are bandits. And Yuan Shao was parodying around with us, and he would have had no way of knowing what the influence of his hated brother would have been. He just knew that he was already running around with an army of thousands and in the favor of the Empress. So I would have been understandably a little nervous about coming in, you know, fancy hat in hand. Even though I would never turn away somebody who had paid me for so long. But we'll just wait and get some more of our reinforcement things here. We're sending him to infiltrate the, to try to infiltrate Gongsun Du's new leader, because I wonder if a new leader might be more amenable to our overall positions. What we can do here is, yeah, catch this army on the roll-up, which is highly desirable, and actually pull all of them out as well for a very sick pull, because this army being very, very tuned up, this is going to be, oh, we just take the auto. Yeah, we just take the auto. I'm like, they're already, all of the units are dead, and all the units are dead, and all of the heroes were, you know, at 10 HP or whatever. So the real benefit is we get to pull out the entire garrison, and that these armies are going to run away, and maybe we'll capture somebody, but it doesn't look like we do. Gongsun Kong was known as mega full himself, Emperor of Yan. Well, that would make sense why he doesn't want to pay me then, the bum. Zhang Kai. Adamant resolve. I mean, and what a champion he is, you know. He's got his G of the Imperial Guard. You know, we might give him the Phoenix Beak, right? Why not? Why not? There you go. And now he can really swing. Of course, he heals himself a little bit, but really what he's about is running up and smashing. Slayer of Tyrants. Let's give him... You know, you're also the protector of the three realms. Zhang Kai, like, dueled Cao Cao. He was doing all sorts of stuff for me here. Gongsun Yuan. Okay. Where are you on? Or Yun? I don't know how to say anything. I always go with Yuan because that's like how to say the clan name, I think-ish. Which I say it wrong all the time, but you will often catch me saying it twice in a row so I can say it slightly better the second time. What we want to do here is hopefully just catch old girl out. Or actually, she is so beat up and not at all replenishing well. So we're just gonna move
正
forward.
在行进。
And yeah, so she is, she is at -10 from her faction failing to burn bright, you know.
至柔如水，以应万变。
But we've got a granary there, and this place has no granary. We might want one, right? Oh, we never swapped this. Oh, we just took this, actually. Alright, so now... you get the reserve capacity for those places. I remember now. It's like, I felt like it should be like 100. Boom. 5 AP damage. Faction-wide. That is absolutely what I'm talking about. Oh, man, that's gonna be so noticeable right away. It's so freaking much damage. Just like, hey... Would you like 30% AP damage? Here you go. Sure, on the charge, it's, I mean, pretty influential, but not that good, relatively. But it's really powerful in the grind, the post-charge. But of course, now it's winter and they're at sea, and I imagine they're going to go and then have to turn around, which, you know, good for them.
真是聒噪。 一统天下，
心怀志略，
准备行
And
动。
like all of these guys have too high of levels to
如狂澜，
replace them. My girl's level 9 of Serene Shores. Is this like Sai Mao's wife? No, Hong Su. No, not his wife actually, because she would have been born. Yeah, later than that. But from the faction anyway, the Huang faction, so a child of the family. There you go. That 25 campaign movement range when an own sea region is pretty interesting. You know, for the region you would be on there.
志略所指，我之所在。
Yeah, I must really just time out. Look, he's the guy whose trait gives you movement, right? I didn't even look at the name.
释放
I saw it for the spouse. I didn't look at the age. Actually, thank you for the spouse, because she was such a high level. But I guess being in Liu Biao's faction, that makes sense. Of Serene Shores. Jet sailing is wildly dangerous and foolish, but it's so much fun, or so it's been explained to me.
志略所指，
Alright, everything there is fine. And Matong, you know, we might need to spin up an army at the gate pass just to, you know, inspire him to good behavior. Because we don't want to have an army. Because this one was going to go down there, but now we've got to have them on looter duty. But, of course, right about now, when we roll in here, these armies we're going to be able to take Luoyong, take this gate pass, and then our unbroken north. I mean, ain't that pretty? Ain't it just? Because we have our beautifully safe capital region of Korea. The whole thing is a bandit paradise. They just they caper and sing, you know. They have just the best time over there. We need to get somebody on this side to deal with them. Alright, that's all of that, and all of that. We moved over here, and I think we literally will never catch him. This is very frustrating.
形势所限，
We're just gonna go deal with the looters accordingly.
一往无前。
You know, he's just gonna go around and maybe every now and then we'll have to fight.
我还以为
I mean, we could just get tribute from him, but he hates us so much that he doesn't want to for some reason. I can't imagine why. Look, it's not me that took your castle and cast you into the wilderness. Oh, it was? Oh, goodness. Goodness. Queen Zhurong we are going to get tribute from, but we're going to do it the turn after this, after we knock her back out of our lands here. We don't want her to have this land and then, you know, be getting it. And plus, we'll get a better exchange rate on the tribute after that. Alright, everything is well and good here, 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 here. Marvelous. And the thing about Wei is we just get to pick how badly we crunch them at this point. We are going to be at the Imperial City in less than a year. There is no chance he can defend it. To be clear, Cao Cao is our brother-in-law and a stand-up guy. Technically, if you think about it, he provoked us by moving in on our tributaries in the north. Here, so if we take this fight, do we have headhunters? I'm like, what do we do with it? Well, we've got plenty of punch. What do they have? What do they have really? Zhu Chu, okay. Yan Yang, okay. Liu Bei, okay. It's sounding like a problem now, isn't it? Because it's also other heroes, and Liu Bei is invisible. I think if we just retreat, we live. And we might even get back into our own land. Where's there's two armies to get here? Send the whole mod fans here. Ooh, well, may they all join you, right? May they all see the error of their ways and the benefits of your friendship. Where's the other one at? It doesn't matter. We'll defend these two and then we'll charge into the center. They charge in, we'll have 2 units. Alright, let's go. They don't have fire arrows there or here, so that is roughly good. They have less archers on this side than over here. What we're going to try to do is punch out here and either get on top of their ranged units. Oh, they've got all sorts of things here that I didn't know about. All right, let's go this way and try to get them into a forest battle then, and then we'll rear charge over the top if possible. Looks like we're not gonna get this one, but that doesn't mean it's true. You know, we got shields, tiger and leopard cavalry, and heavy tiger leopards. You know, we got some real cavalry here. We just need to get a good fight. And to that end, we're going around this direction. Because the longer they wait without, you know, doing much here, the better off we are. And if they move to fight our cav with their cav, our cav are better at fighting. They're exhausted already? I don't know. Oh, the wedge lowers their armor. See how much I use abilities. Alright, these guys now can get up in this direction. Because I feel like that side's gonna get a little crumbly soon. What happened here? Oh yeah, we got right on top of them. And now we're beating on the strategist. Good, good, good. Now we're eating a rear charge from their lance cavalry. This is not ideal. Not ideal at all. We need to get out of here. Over on this side, we're good. And on this front, they're red cav, in spite of the shields not getting there at all, and we're gonna be able to get on top of them in this direction, run in here. Oh, and there was, I did not see those sword guards there. I think they actually had the smoke bomb. You know, the smoke bomb really works super well, especially against me. What we're going to do here is continue crunching them. And move these archers over to this front. Because these cavalry are running now, so only a matter of time before these G infantry. Well, actually, no, these heavy G infantry, it might actually be a matter of a while before they run. But we're going to get these archers over there. More infantry support here, because fighting in front of the towers is good, because if you don't let them stand on the point, they can't use their superior numbers, right, to get over it. Speaking of superior numbers, we're not going to eat this charge. We're going to see it coming and get onto them, allowing us to countercharge. And on this front, they are losing rather roundly. All good here. The cav eating the shots on this front. And here and here. I think we just win this fight with the infantry. Looks like it. We'll come in this way again then, as we mop up here. They threw a ball on the away for nothing, so you guys feel better about the battle. Yeah, you know, they sometimes they don't protect their neck. What we're gonna do here is hopefully show up right in time. You know, the archers are getting very nice damage in on these fools. These archers are out of ammo, so we're going to charge in, you know, with a charge bonus of 45, they're really going to make a difference here. We're going to get in range and start immediately shooting at these heavy G infantry. Watch out too. You know, he at least is impetuous, right? That boy cannot help himself. He likes to party, likes to brawl, wants to fight. But it looks like we're getting him here. Beautiful. Perfect, and in all other ways very good. As they flee, and you know, once the infantry blob runs away from the towers, you've got it. Their lack of fire arrows condemning them here. What are they, bandits? forces from both sides of the map. Just one for the lack of path and intelligence. Yeah, you know, because they wanna consolidate their forces. They're really quite good at moving their forces when they're together, which, you know, to be a little cute about it, like how realistic, right? It is very hard to take armies commanded by different people and have them meeting in an engagement from different areas and have them come into a cohesive whole, which is like a bit of an excuse, like saying, it's hard to give orders in a siege. Meh. Not an excuse I buy, just a funny thing to say. You predict a crushing defeat? I do not predict a crushing defeat. You know, we do have very few trebuchets here, but I predict we'll be just fine, actually. I predict that our arrow towers are going to delete these fools. King Menghuo, you don't have an elephant. That makes me scared of you. Well, perhaps I will... We need to get Zhuge Liang down here. No, I'm just playing. Someday, though, we need to get Zhuge Liang down here and, like, capture and release Menghuo a million times. Northern Raiders 541 charge. Whew. Because what we want to do is park up in here, right? Park up in here. Cavalry to engage as needed. Our Lady, who's level 6 and doesn't have useful abilities there. And then we'll just fight, you know, on the beaches and all that. Because to get in, and then we'll barricade here. There, I'll funnel them here. None of these barricades matter, that's okay. This one will be good. And then all of these trebuchets together will make one unit of trebuchets to fire. It's going to be awesome. They do have fire arrows, however, it's going to take them a little while to get in. And if they get these, then we'll be able to at least charge in the cavalry as they try to position in, you know, because I think if they move forward, we'll just... You know, we might actually just try to aggressively move out here. They got spears. Ah, no, tigers. Let's not. That's a silly plan. Let's stick to the actual plan. These internal towers are going to wreak havoc on them. They're going to be very good indeed. And we're not, like, worried about running away. They've got one elephant. Their morale is lower than ours, and we have many ways to deal with them. Now, King Menghuo, he's got his abilities online, right? He's got Crippling Blow, Defiant Cry for the morale hit, the Power of Love, which, and, you know, the morale thing. The Power of Love will have no power here. Right now, if they're going to tank... like shots from our poison towers, you know, good for them. Their fire arrows are going to show up and deal with our towers, but we're just going to tank it for the now. And now, if they're going around this side, we are going to... on there, and, you know, these silly guys will flame shot here, because they're going to be able to drop flaming trebuchet balls on all of them. And here, they actually their poor fire archers have not decided if they want to burn the place down yet or not, which, to be fair, they are afraid of fire. Do they really want to come into a fire thing? But it's such a preposterous idea for a unit, and I could not possibly like it anymore. It's so dumb. I love it. I'm a Warhammer guy, you know. It's legitimately the silliest idea. What we're going to try to do is fight them in the trees over here, which will be burning. That'll upset us a little bit. It'll upset them probably a little more. Now, of course, we are going to run into some tigers. This is not ideal. You know, what we're doing here is not good. It's not even smart. But it is what we're doing. We're already doing it. You can't stop me. I'm already doing it. Let's run through the burning forest. I said I think it'll be good. All of those words, all in a row, no context needed. To be fair, it's not clear that I was wrong. Of course, the morale hits are harder to enforce on them, but there we go. And Dong Tuna is going to be a very, very sad boy when he realizes that he has run into not just cavalry, but the bandit marauders. Oh, I thought they were headhunters. He's going to be fine, actually. He will barely care. Looks like the tigers are doing amazing against our cav here. But the good news is that on this front, our warriors are doing fine, actually. We really need this cav to be alive, because otherwise dealing with Meng Huo is going to be a little fraught. But we're just going to stay on Dong Tuna there, because, hey, at this point, we're already dedicated to it now. We need to get inside here. Oh, and they were oath-sworn there. Great. No, it's actually fine. Let's get these guys inside. Because we still have all of these entirely healthy dudes here. They've got their whole other side of guys. Nobody knows what's going on there, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. There, and of course the place is burning down around them. That makes us feel fine. It makes them feel very, very aggrieved. They get very alarmed when the place is burning down around them. We need to get out here so we can get another charge bonus here on the big guy. Why don't we go and try to hit him? That would be a sight. Of course, towers are one of the best ways to deal with the tigers, as it's very difficult to get your units onto the tiger in, like, a useful way. But she's here, hitting them with the deluge, which is very good because their abilities are amazing. And there we get another kick for Meng Jie, but, you know, too bad, so sad, right? These elephants are going to be not so long for the world. We were chasing him. That's not working. But definitely got this one in the bag now. We just need to speed it up a little bit. Hit him. Hit the elephants. And, of course, after the elephants run, I mean, how are they ever gonna stand up and fight after the Oliphants run? Come in here, hit him with a roar. Beat up on the general. You know, they don't want army loss here, but to be fair, our army was pretty beat up when we started. They don't army loss. They're not army lossing because of these stinking tiger slingers, not because they're not army lost. One day I'll like win a fight because I'll have unbreakable slingers and I'll hide in a forest or something, and then we'll time out the enemy. But anyway, he'll be going home, tail between his elephant, and, you know, we won't have to worry about him anymore. Sometimes I forget which day it is. I'll explain. I know it's my day off, but I, like, because I'm having, like, a good time and I took a nap, I don't, like, remember if I have to go to work the next day. I don't. And it's such a good feeling when I look down at 10 o'clock and I'm like, oh, what's the future look like, you know? What's going on here? What are we doing? And then I'm like, oh, that's good, actually. He has ended up in the looters. Good for him. Yeah, we definitely need to get an army or two up here because we are legit going to lose all of this in the north to the looters, which is not ideal, right? And one of our spies dies. Got caught. I didn't even know anybody was in danger. He's very happy here. We don't have to worry about that over much, right? We get all of the things. We'll just do an interference real quick. Test out the faction waters. He's got some turns before we need to get him out in the event that we need to get him out. Here, another spy in Wu as well. Well, we'll actually... Can we break him open a little bit? Yeah, we can break him open a little bit here. Let's start with an interference. Let's start with saving it. And no bonuses to their inhibitions here, so we're going to be able to crack them open on this turn. Last one for you, Yuan Shu. Just brutal stuff. Just brutal stuff. We are making them all so unhappy. Beautiful stuff. And then we'll just discredit them a little more, right? And then wait. And Wu is just like a crumbling mess of spies and unhappiness. And I love that for him. I love that we're at least doing something to make him unhappy. Because I've seen some of these generals leave, right? And even if they don't go to me, you know, when Sun Quan left them, that must have cost them a lot of money, right? Because that was their heir. I don't think Sun Tzu is the heir, right? I don't think he's the heir now. He is not the heir now.
我等皆青睐足下。
You know, she does love me. Alright, first things first, we'll start over here and pop.
快去，迅速出击！啊！缜密谋划，方可取胜。正用得上此生。
This, and now she's gonna be, you know, doing her annoying little thing here, but ultimately not doing too much here. The ambush works.
保持原样。
And we catch old boy in March. And with a mighty spin kick and a stab, he's having a worse day than he thought he was gonna have. But you know, you have wandered far from home, old boy. And
快去！
obviously I like him because, you know, we just had such a wonderful campaign with him. I keep thinking about Liu Biao like it's the last campaign. The last campaign was Lu Bu, which we had a great time with.
舍身尽忠，正在行进。
And then Meng Ho's gonna try to run away, and then we will roll him up on this. Oh yeah, sick move, 75, and she's like, bow, bow, smash. Love it. Love it. You're the model of rectitude, you are. What a champion. May you live forever, my girl.
春季行动，与谋士商议。
And now that Zhurong is beat up, we'll get the tribute. We will give her a crust of bread. This will allow her to tell her tribespeople that she came out ahead in the deal. And her lands are back over here, so she'll leave, and then we'll get back to her. Because I don't want this land right here. I'm perfectly happy to have them on the clumsy other side of the river, where it takes them a while to get in. And then we can just respond from our cities further back. Show me the money. Show me the money. Getting this sweet 67,351 from her. Man, that's enough to pay for an army. Of course, then we give even more money to Gongsun Kong, who, like, absolutely is going to, like, be dissatisfied with his lot in life. But, you know, here, he's running out of supplies a little bit. We keep on feeding him money. He's going to have no choice but to go, because he's in this clumsy place. What I want him to do is recruit an army up here, and then, but I don't think he has army slots, and then go and fight Songjian, or the looters, specifically the looters. Alright, the Nanman sorted out, the Man of the Invisible Arms sorted out here, moving in on the Kingdom of Chu, who actually has put up a much more stiff resistance than we had anticipated, right? Like, you know, that's the thing about having a bunch of, you know, high-level heroes, though, which are, hey, we get the loot, negative loot for enemies, this is, a nice building for us right now. Like, the campaign movement range is legitimately excellent. And we'll make the people upset. Ever taken more than 2 armies to battle is ill-advised outside of auto-resolve. Yeah, you know, for the opponent, it's very difficult for them to use it right. For you, the player, if you've got a ton of cavalry, then it's amazing. And if you don't, well, then why are you bringing your trebuchet army?
行事谨慎，可称机敏。 相信直觉。向前进军。原地候命。
She actually has pretty good movement. She might move up here to here. If she does, you know, Fa Zheng, he's KG, he might know we're here. But the tremendous satisfaction hit on Wu, it's pretty funny. You know, with the huge amount of points we get every turn, you gotta use them or something. Chundong, a man for all seasons. And he had his dudes there, but you know, there comes a time in any strategist's life when he realizes I've just made it to level 6. These fog guys, though, you know, because regular archers, there is still a place for them. And, you know, they've got snipe and the fire arrows will keep them. Chinjui, Grease, and Chindung's treachery Thulu. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's so funny. The thing about being a bandit, right, is you end up with this hilarious story where all these reputable guys are fighting for you, the bandit queen. But, you know, we don't have to think too much about it. I'm just going to keep on doing this. I don't feel like doing this siege, alright? We can wait there forever. We're not even losing military supplies here, right? Yeah. We get 45 from characters, 10 from hostile territories, and 9 from buildings. So 60 plus while we're besieging someplace, you know. So take that. Like, I'm not too good to do a siege, but, you know, it's literally, there's not even like a garrison, you know. It's just take that. You know. Destroy the tax office. Comes with a granary. Totally don't think we need this, but Cao Cao, you know, because we're gonna get tribute from him rather than crunch him, I think. You know, once we get the Imperial City and all. Because I don't think we want to just, like, get rid of his whole faction. I mean, why? He'll pay me, right? He'll pay me. He will. You want to trade with me? No, I'm surprised. Well, at least the Duchy of Zhongwu is paying me the tribute that I require. Zhongjin at -3 on this deal. Sounds like you're someone who wants to pay me tribute, actually.
我还以为你死了。
For 5 food.
提的还算合理。
Now we're giving Gongsun Khan 100 grand. He's finally getting a better deal than he's giving us. I mean, he's only netting 17, right? But it's still pretty funny. Well, no, because he's not actually paying me 84. That's just what we're getting from him. He's netting quite a lot. But it'll be alright. I mean, worst comes to worst, we'll just beat him up again, right? Because although he's, like, getting money now, he doesn't have that many high-level people, right? Just, like, a couple of them, so it's not like he'd even be able to put together that great of a force. And we've got granary-boosted, walled guys with stacks he wouldn't be able to get in anyway, even with this army being, like, not really champions, just being some smart ladies who are rocking it out. Canonically, that's where all the girls are growing up, right? They're there in Korea learning, you know, how to bring honor to us all. They're learning calligraphy, which is where you use a sword to draw a pattern into the foe. You know, they're learning horseback riding, which is where you ride a horse. It's just what it sounds like.
为了天下大业。
And the Grand Army of the Invisible Elephant will soon be here at the capital, the Imperial City.
准备作战。我已准备好作战了。
行动如一，
深思熟虑，
集中心智，一击制敌。
冷静沉着，将能量付诸于行动。
Just go all the way over the top there, and you have White Wave Horsemen, which are sort of deprecated by this point in the campaign. Why not some nice daredevils, I wonder? Or Xiliang Cavalry, rather. It's not daredevils yet. Probably because Chung Marauders are fatigue immune. It's probably level 6 for the daring daredevils, which makes sense. They are quite an amazing unit. They're not like ammo limited very much, right? They get, you know, a good
释放怒火吧！
dozen and a half.
见识一下我们的激情。
Timed out into a close victory. Hey, got it. But this set, the Tactician's Design, I'm actually crazy about it, right? And this makes me feel like, wow, you get this 10 melee evasion, own army, you get a generic commander, and then you get one of those other guys that gets that, and I think they would stack from it. But, yeah, just really good stuff. And, because, I mean, 10 evasion for your own army is so good. It's so good. You know, we got Fist the Bandit Queen at 46 melee evasion. That's solid. It's not Imperial, but it's solid. And that ability with, like, you know, the very top tier units, because the better a unit is, the better more of the stat is. That's the rule, right? That's the law of the world. What we're going to do now is meet up with the Empress and Lu Bu, who are still hanging out. She's trying to get home still.
一往无前，
回归原状。
这样行不通。 实乃渔夫之行也。
But she is running on home, and Jugafu and these other people coming up the river, but not too worried about that. We will drop an army over here eventually. Maybe. Right, what I want to do now is move here. Can he get to the pass? Yes, which means we'll be great to take this. With the reinforcements, the auto-resolve will... Oh, without the reinforcements, the auto-resolve will be fine. I think she'll just be able to move a little bit closer. And there we go.
我军智略胜敌军一筹。
Alas. Final catch points. 1,500 lost versus 3,500 lost. But Peng To just alliance the garrison. Yeah. That could be how it is. Man, one of the huge battles we had with Cao Cao's forces, where it was like the 4v4, we had a garrison for like our 4th stack in there. And they like started out on the battlefield. They availed themselves so well. They like beat up on Imperial units just because we, because we had crazy morale. And, we got our charge bonus. So we just like, got in and gaming around the side. And like our bandit raiders legit like got down to 40 units. But those Imperial soldiers ran away. Speaking of those Imperial soldiers running away, that's the gate pass on this side. We took the Hulao Pass, last turn against, or 2 turns ago against Cao Cao. These forces getting back together quite nicely. And crucially, we're on. Because he's got trebs and he got here, and with all these armies, and we know Zhu Chu's force just got beaten up very badly and will not be able to support well. And we'll just come in here, hit him, hopefully get him to retreat off, right? Ranked up 4 times in one battle. All of them did? That's amazing. But we get our crack on him. Zhu Chu falls over. He'll get better. No, that's not what I meant. Okay, I would have been able to reload the autosave anyway. Why am I worried about it? I'm like, no, don't. And here we just, Zhu Yu's going to be able to come here to support their taking of Luoyang. So even if there's another army there, that's fine. So we just move Zhang Kai's force here. This guy probably just retreats off. Probably shouldn't have done that. It's okay. This army's doing their thing. They don't beat this garrison. No, they don't beat this garrison by a long shot. It's super beat up. Not really a worry there. Give him the auto yet? No, that's alright. I can wait. We're still on the same turn from when we didn't get the auto earlier. Got it. She's going home, and these armies have done their thing. Alright. And all the spies happened early on. Levels to distribute, not that important. Usually we find them organically as we go through, but here he's off on assignment. Hopefully they'll get an army there, because it's a little anticlimactic to take an Emperor's seat when there's no one to defend it.
撤退。
They move into us there, which of course we just provoke them into moving into a careless position. Perfection. I don't think they got to start a siege there. I don't think they would have wanted to with what we have, so that's exactly what we wanted to do when we moved forward there, is get them to move in, thinking they would be able to take the fight. Brutal. Like, where's this army? Oh, over there.
必须保存。
On the other side of that river, yeah. They crossed the river and then jumped over on the attack. Crucially, though, it looks like somebody will be home to defend the fort. I wonder who else is there. That's one of the Cao clan I recognized from the portrait. Rin Shi comes back. Chu Huan comes back. Joyous occasion, a daughter is born unto the house. Another daughter! And all sorts of weapons and bows and suits of armors have been forged. For the story, it makes sense to it. Montang knows he's been beaten. Indeed. And you know, that's the thing about... I mean, Onding gets you a ton of food. And Wudu gets you a lot of money, but Wudu is an annoying place to have unless you want to be from over here. Literally, wish my family had daughters. Well, thank you. You know, that's what it's all about. Is being able to give our daughters and our daughters' daughters and our daughters' daughters' daughters the China that they deserve. And we will do it. See you, Ellie. Good night. Thanks for hanging out today. It's good to see you. Right, so Lady Yan is there, and over on this front. Oh, it was over here. I was like, where was it? It was the siege thing. But now, of course, we still get to replenish, which is gonna be
出发，吾有要事与谋士商议。
not at all what she wanted to happen.
此举有失妥当，势如狂澜。
And she's got a good stack and stuff, but hey, you know, 2v1, overwhelmed, we're just moving ahead here. Maybe she will join us. I would have loved to have gotten her a long time ago to, you know, teach the children, but we get a gold book.
放了吧，无法为我军所用。请下命令。
The Public Order of Faction Wide. Doctor to Celestial Master. So if it's Zhang Lu's book. And if he gets it and has that, then he gets population growth faction wide. We have dragon scales. That's right. We took that off somebody. You know, we totally should get that on somebody. He's Lord of Fire, though. Zhang Lu is a very good faction mod pack. I thought of doing a run with him. It said it was very hard, but I was like, I bet, you know, with really principled 5 or 6 attempts at the beginning that we can get it pulled together, right? Do a Robe of the Nobun Maker, give an Imperial Bow. That's the combo that gets you 10% range firing rate, which is just very good, right? I'm loving that I'm finally getting the set bonuses 450 hours in. Clint Eastwood and
大人有何打算？
you know, she's married to him, and that's why they're all palling around, of course.
保持原样，为天下黎民，为了天下
But
苍生。
Luoyang has no garrison to speak of here, and that means that on this front we can just If we drop his, we can get it. I mean, literally anywhere else would be more useful. So too for this army. Trouble with being vassal, of course. Decent faction resource, entirely unique roster, and great faction leader bonuses. Dongzhuo is dangerous, and the one's there. Yeah, Dongzhuo I think would be dangerous too, because he's got the siege AI. So even if you got like your sweet gate pass set up where you're like, all right, just come at me, if he's willing to whittle you down. But I guess depending on what it is, if you get your gate pass set up for the negative loot, you know, the fact that he's there for so long would work against him anyway. But, you know, because if you could get some other land and trade it for independence, that would obviously be the ideal, but maybe we couldn't. But the penitent monks, they seemed very cool, and you know, I like Taoism stuff anyway. I think it's, you know, I think it's a treat. And they keep on running down this river. Do we have a good way of dealing with them, or are we just going to pierce up into their land and say, if they get inside, we'll just reposition an army? If so, this would actually be a very good thing for this army to do. Or rather, for an army to do. We'll drop Clint Eastwood's army and probably move them into theater the turn after this. We'll drop Zhu Yu's army. We'll get them somewhere because they are very far away from being useful. From right here, I mean, not that far. I guess they could move back up this way. But these armies are going to be sweeping into the center ere too long. So we just need to get, honestly, another army over here because he is. I'm like, if we hit him here, do we? No. Okay, yeah, so it does. We go out on the boat to hit them. The garrison doesn't help, of course. That does make a lot of sense. You know, it gets rid of them. Now let's stay out of there in case he besieges it. 'Tis a silly place. Hey, you know, it gets it done a little bit. We'll just spin another army up. Because we know it's, like, impossible to walk from here into there. Like, it doesn't work that way. We'll just spin one up right here, and then they'll move into the center-ish. And by right there, I mean we gotta click the correct button, or we will once again raise an army in the wrong spot and act like I don't know how that works. Alright, who's good? Oh, Wulie, you're hanging out here? Well, your sitcom over has waited long enough. Alright, my huntress girl, it's time for you to shine. Oh yeah, we need Kong Li into an army. Yeah, let's just get him down here, and then we'll worry about where everything is at later. Way of the wind, which is of course just so good. At least he's going across the top, but we'll just... give him a couple of Furies and a bunch of hidden axes and call it a day.
一鼓作气，
以柔克刚，心怀怨怒。
斩尽叛贼！今天不行。
做好准备。
Yeah, so he can now he's got Tactician's Design online here. And she doesn't need that because we already have one of it in the army. Let's get her the non-set version. So, any more spies? Oh, yeah, we got a couple, don't we? Well, let's just try to break it open a little bit first. Or with him, can we just... Oh, yeah, we have to get more loyalty. I don't even know how that builds. I guess, like, time in faction or whatever. If we discredit ourselves here... Like, I'm squinting. No, it won't let us do it. We're too happy, right? We shouldn't have sent a guy with such a nice personality. You know, he's not gonna do anything for us there. Let's get him out of there. Alright, and on this front, a little interference, and let's start seeing how discreditable we can get things. You know, it honestly looks like they have a whole lot less characters than they used to. Lu Bu. Let's discredit you specifically. Oh. But they are all just so stinking unhappy. And honestly, I hate that for her. And now that they're all very upset, you were able to use the stock stance once. Dream is fulfilled. Congratulations! I'm going to take a short break, and we'll be right back for some more of this.
树木林立，静如雄兵。
下雾弥漫，阴晦难知。
All right. Well, let us return to action. All right, moving along home.
向前进军。
Alright, and then we will... Yeah, and he'll... Oh, he's... Yeah, we just gotta spend a turn here. That'll be easy enough to do. And then on this front, all of these armies are together again, and we'll be able to...
向前进军，淹没敌军。
defeat them in detail
如此
here.
只能平添祸乱。怒吼吧！不行，怒吼吧！
And there's not too much they can do here. Of course, we beat all these armies just a season or two ago, and they're still, you know, trying to put it back together, which is never going to work for them. The having somebody in your empire or anywhere to give you a contract against somebody you already want to fight is just great because you get the morale bonus, and every now and then you get a very nice item as well. But with the 6-pin kick, Han Xian gets it done, and we continue rolling up Cao Wei. You know, by the time we take the Imperial seat, I'm sure that his people will be clamoring for peace, or at the very least, like, considering writing him a strongly worded letter about how peace would be okay with them, but, like, they're still totally willing to keep fighting, and please don't come out from under the bed at them. They didn't mean it. I think we just spin up an army here just to... I mean, because we can drop it in a turn if we need.
唯有扫清六合，天下才能平定。
我的目标十分明确。
We'll get our guys there, and then we got old Sushu. Yeah, there we go. This is an army.
人口还算稳固。
We'll This gives huge line of sight when commanding. Are you good at commanding? Ish. 10% melee damage for melee infantry. Well, you know what that means, my man. Sounds like you're gonna reform into some hidden axes. Seems like you'd be real good at that. One unit of White Force Raiders always goes a treat. That would have been faster. We can drop them. We'll keep the heavy cataphracts. He's got Watch for the Empire. Don't go drilling defenders. We'll get fire here, and then she can just get just power, right?
快点！
Oh.
悉心节欲，众将且于堂前，谈笑欢饮。
Be right there, and our buddy, you know, he's really doing his best to try to find somewhere to go, but he's just going away from home, spending all his money, and then he'll have to go back, you know. Shame. Bandit network coming in, and you know, the ownership is looking beautiful indeed. Because if we get way down to, like, you know, a province right here, I hardly want to let him have, like, a neighboring province to the Imperial City, but we'll just leave a big garrison there. You know, that's just what we'll do. And then, what will we have to worry about? What's he going to do? Get into, like, a big Imperial City with a granary? I actually would put, like, a full stack with our towers and garrison against any 2 stacks in the game I've ever encountered. When we're defending, we can get it done. Funnel them in, hit them with a cav, right? Take them apart. Well, let's just, yeah, let's take this. Let's just tie up the north of the network, right? Why not? Got him again. Nice. And then on this front, we just roll over here. Obviously, we're not going to let Cao Cao have these lands. It's too much of the pretty map, right? Him having a small, you know, we can let him call himself a king. Everybody's going to know it's a duchy. Calling himself a king ain't nothing but a duke. But, you know, we can make him the old, the Duke of Qin here. Not Prince, that means something. No, we could make him Prince of Qin, actually, right? Because he is related to us. Us in the imperial sense.
力求上进，功名震天。拉弓之时需屏气凝神，消灭敌军。出发。
And we get provoked into running a little far forward. That's okay, because this army was at least the one that was more put together than the others. You know, the follow-through step can be a little sketchy there, but we're alright. We do know that they're unlikely to bring anyone to bear. Who's here in the capital? Cao Hong Fusong, 84 years old. And to be fair, he has found someone to fight for who, you know, was doing their best. But I mean, Cao Cao didn't restore the Emperor, though, right? That is what happened? Yeah, that is what happened. But still, Hong Fusong is, you know, he's not working for me. I do have his bow. Do we give it to Han Shin's wife? Like, we're so... No. Like, are we gonna make it? I don't know. We could just give it to Han Xin, because giving it to a yellow turban is the funniest thing. But he often is dueling because of my preferences. could just give it to one of the adopted daughters.
聚气凝神，
Yeah, why not? Here, in the army of the Imperial Elephant. Speaking of, we totally should have that set going on here. I just... Heyo, what? Spirit of the first artist. We have gotten a gold leather thing. Perhaps from the armor crafter. Perhaps some other way that we didn't notice, but... So Constellation gets us the melee damage thrown army, which I think is more desirable than that charge reflect thing. We have all these weapons. We need specifically one of these. We're going to take yours because I care about you less. I frankly don't even know exactly where your army is. You might be right here with us, but the point is, yeah, you're right here with us. Yeah, you weren't getting that set bonus anyway. Wait.
不露声
Did
色
I，just click on that wrong? Was he carrying another one? I'm sure I don't understand.
心如止水，气聚神凝。
But now we got this army for way more melee damage, which most of our stuff is AP damage, but, you know, still, it's about sending a message. And it works for the fighters within it, too. You know, the elephant will get 25% more damage.
大人有何吩咐？
稍事休息，
保持原样。
保持原样。路径明晰。
Yeah, we're gonna rock out here. We're gonna promote the defensive contact tactics. We're gonna get stronger dudes. We're gonna do that with someone who's better at doing it. I've never done this in my life, and I already feel very satisfied for having thought about it. Liu Cong, you have a 2% chance to get caught, but we'll just... You know, and then they'll do it for the one turn, and then we'll run in. You have discovered a cheese. Ooh, what is? Looks like night raids they want to catch people doing. We're gonna try it anyway. So after one turn, they'll all run on here, and then we'll just...
人们蜂拥而至，赶来此郡。
Run a supply run as well, because we will, yeah, we'll make a day of it, right? We'll besiege it for a turn.
开战！
Get all the assignments rolling. Bring the forces up.
出发！
讨平乱贼，澄清四海。
I doubt they'll sally out, right?
悉听尊便。出发！
坚如盾牌，势如利刃。 要保持清醒。
心有所欲，因而导之。正气如火，熊熊不息。
满怀信念，
totally in
奋
fine
力一
shape.
战。
Yeah.
夏季人们称颂太阳，也会称颂阴凉。
我已准备好作战了。
Yeah, and even if he tries to come in and reinforce, we'll have all of this. Yeah. No Kapungani lineage? Visual love. Okay. At least you didn't break it. Alright, so... Here...
拿起武器。
Finally gets it. Our dude with the coolest sword, of course, who's been with us forever. You know, he's doing good work. He didn't really have any great feats, you know. There's always somebody else, but, you know, there's still time. She's got her sick emo comb over going on. We're gonna go this way to get guerrilla deployment.
志气井然，则四海可定。
So we can convert this to this one, which we never use, because we go down and then we make it this one, where you get tons of corruption, but it doesn't make your people unhappy. You know, if corruption is so bad, why are they all smiling? Oh, we didn't move our forces there. That's all right. Well, actually, no, we wanted them there. They're at the borders of our land. They're replenishing. Alright, here it looks like, you know, we might just take this one, right? Mainly because I feel like if we run away, we might just get broken up and not be able to get anything out of it anyway. Because he's got this army from the garrison, so he has plenty of movement to get here. But where do these other armies come from, right? I have no idea where that one came from, and I have no idea where this one came from either. I really would have preferred... I really would have preferred to take this as an offensive battle so I could get, you know, a ton of charge bonus rather than just a lot of charge bonus. We're gonna have to make do with only 700 charge bonus on our cav, which I mean is practically what they have at 300. Practically. Alright, well.
只要我等坚定不移，便能击溃
I'll balance
一
the
切
network.
敌
Oh,
人。
we've got the entire north and all of Shu and a bunch of the Nanman lands. For rather a lot of cool
没时
bonuses.
间可以浪费了，必须消灭敌军。如大河般奔涌，在干旱中。
So we've got Vanguard, so we can go anywhere we want. We've got Vanguard with most of the army, too. Our reinforcements coming from here and here. Well, in that case, I figure we should just... These are the only trebs we've got. So we'll just pull them all the way back here. And then this flank is sort of guarded anyway. One stinking tower. Well, we're at the bottom of the hill here. Being on the top of it would be better, huh? Alright, do we have bows? Not on these guys. We've got a very ordinary army here to start, but hey, at least the reinforcements will be good. Very ordinary. Qin Royal Guard, trebuchets, you know. Gentry household guards with, you know, legitimately, like, sort of Imperial-ish stats. Not quite Imperial, but ish. But really, we just need to keep the cav in a good spot and, you know, keep our wits, right? Don't really love the flank being wide like that in a big fight like this, because we're going to be getting a lot of guys here. Why don't we just... I was just there because I wanted the snipe, right? Yes, that is right. Well, we'll just make do with this. Just draw a cute little box. Little boxes on the hillside.
看，我方援兵抵达战场。
Because this is the army of the invisible elephant, right? This is not like an army that isn't amazing that's coming in. We've got proper armies coming in. And she's already here. We've got followers of the flame. That is going to make these blob fights extraordinary. So we just need to get here and, you know, keep it tight. Tight like a tiger. And... you know, the followers of the flame, plus elephant, plus everything, you know, we're gonna be in a good spot if we can deliver on it. Because they are trying to form over there, but this army is gonna have to cross a real rock and a hard place sort of scenario. Do I have any cav archers here? No. Great. Kind of surprising given my force in general, but this is going to be amazing, right? We have a very, very wide group of very, very high quality infantry. This is my idea of a perfect time, a setup for a perfect crime. We, however, want to drop the fire a little here. I don't want to be shooting a bunch of trebs at cavalry, right? think we got a better plan than all that. The Jinbei headhunters here are going to get into a better spot now. We just need to make sure the Qin Royal Guard don't get caught out. The only way we can do that is by going and having a blob fight in the trees. That's okay. The invisible elephant will run in. Or actually, are they invisible? They are invisible, so I don't think they're going to get got exactly, but we can still try to protect them. We are eating some shots from the arrow here. I don't actually think it matters. We are going to, however, try to move them away. He's got a massive shield, so we'll stay there on him. And the headhunters getting shot up a bit. Run away, you fools. Fly! Fly! And, you know, our guy is getting distracted by this guy's presence and shooting him with a bunch of ammo. I mean, technically it's fine. It would be worse if we tried to stop them from doing it. And we get... actually kind of a beautiful setup there where they... You know, we're going to get one unit of infantry there to help. Where they, running up in this direction to try to flank, end up not seeing the invisible guys as they cross, shooting into the rear with crossbows into these cavalry. Brutal stuff. And that is an excellent cavalry pick. Just really, really great. And now it's time for us to move over into this, where we get all of our generals fighting one of their generals. This is, broadly speaking, totally fine. And now it's time to fire at will here. And we're going to roll up this way. Get into the trees there. Alright, and now we just need to get the generals to stop doing such hero stuff. Help out here and here. Run our way there. Zhanbei headhunters onto Dongming, and now we just need to get in this way and this way. Hunters through the trees run into rather more foes than we would have thought. You know, should have thought that they could hide in the trees as well. We're just going to get here and here onto the halberds. Charge. Charge. Want to collapse this way. Pretty sure the blob's going fine here. Yeah, they're fighting in spears. Hardly a worry. That just means we need to get out here and here and here and get into the ranged units, which our one unit of marauders is doing quite well. I feel like our horsemen in the trees, you know, they were doing fine, but I think there's a little bit more than there and we want to deal with. Crossbows doing okay there. We just need to pull here to support. Clean. Dongming is running. Run up the crossbows a little bit. Hidden axes on this front, fine and fine. Get onto them there. They're trying to get onto the crossbows. That ain't gonna work. Not one bit. Stuck on to Cao Hong, the scion here of the family, but not gonna help him too much as we roll on through the Onyx Dragons. Beautiful work out of the cav in the background here, and that just means it's time for us to get the cav right here. These are gate guards, so we do have to be careful about their glavy nature as we go in here and here. Collapse, collapse, good stuff onto them. Household cav onto the Qin Royal Guard in the trees, not ideal. Here we go, here we go.
我军士兵正在四散而逃。
Pretty sure those are Imperial units there, so this is going to be a messy pick regardless. But the important thing is that the elephant is totally unharmed. And while we've been eating a lot of shots here, that just means it's time to stop doing so. Those were Zhongnu anyway, so they have shields. And here we very roundly win that side, although of course a little bit of these engagements don't go quite our way. We need to get the crossbows over this way now.
不要留情！敌军仓皇逃窜，一群懦夫！杀呀！片甲不留！进攻！上！
Our Trebs are, of course, out of ammo here. Time to ask them politely and firmly to leave. Get in here. And here on this front, we've already collapsed. Target the big guy. Cav win handily there. Here, the Chinro Guard need to keep moving. We need to get the followers of the flame over here. It's time for the shock infantry to get there, right? It's time to brawl. Charge you, and you. You come back. All of y'all get out of there. Are you fighting crossbows? That's alright. You still got to get out of there. Well, no, not so much. This guy's just a guy, right? So, duh. Yeah, he's just a guy. Let's get back all those Imperial crossbows while the cav roll in here and here. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. You know, it just looks messy, but actually we're doing great. This is about as good as I could hope for a huge engagement like this. Of course, nice wide open spaces, presence of our trebuchets, super high troop quality, you know. But they've got high troop quality too. This is hardly a pushover army that we're going against here. In fact, I would not characterize it as a pushover army at all, with plenty of Imperial units on the battlefield from the garrison and the armies here. You know, just having a time. We need to get here and here. Got headhunters. I don't think there's any more heads to hunt up. We got them. And we got shot cav on us. Please get out of there, shot cav. You're too beautiful to die with 442 kills. Beautiful. What an awesome fight. Though I say so myself, very proud of how I use the best units in the game to beat the foe. Not everybody can use just all the best stuff in the game with totally juiced stats through various means in order to win, but I've managed to do it against all odds. Hey, they took this fight, alright? And, you know, accordingly, we very well might not do the siege manually because this is the siege, you know. They bravely came out, which, you know, to their credit, it's better than surrendering the city, and then we'll take the Imperial City and arrange for the surrender of Cao Wei. And obviously the tributary status that they will enjoy under our new regime in China. Because in case y'all thought it was over, we still got reinforcements coming in. Oh yeah, do we ever. The invisible elephant didn't fight at all. I was so focused on what else was going on that I forgot that the army of the invisible elephant was here. But they are still streaming. I'm like, yeah, it ain't over. I gotta chill on my pronouncements of victory. It ain't over at all. Look at all of that. Alright, the Falcon Donghai are out of ammo, but we just need to reform our lines here. Maybe it was good that we didn't use the elephant, right? But here, this saber cavalry, you know, is what they want for this application. And honestly, I hate that I forgot that they had all of these troops. Wow! And all of them at one time, right? Man. We are going to be able to get out of this, though. It's going to be fine. He charges right into gate guards and gets dismounted. Clean. We did notice in enough time to recover. We just got to get in here. After all, we do have the invisible elephant. We got our other troops, and we're just going to get back around here. No, you're supposed to be withdrawing. Yeah, we've got plenty of juice left to squeeze here, right? Plenty of ammo left too, so crucially. Get the headhunters on Zhonghu here. Onto the yellow dragons. And they're going to delete him. Yeah, look at him fall. Look at him die. And on this side, we are very much not wanting to stay where we're at. Let's get on to them. We can run away from them. They're in the trees. We don't have the forest penalty. Huang Fusong very nobly runs into the Qin Royal Guard. Speaking of the Qin Royal Guard, these guys have already used all their shots. And there we deal with the fast incursion right on time. We just need to get over here. At these Azure Dragons. Get the elephants back over here. We pop the Azure Dragons. He's a little far forward. We'll be able to extract him. All of y'all leave. You stay on him. You come back, and then here we'll just engage them here. These are Javelin Spear Guard, yeah. I'm like, what are they shooting? Javelin Spear Guard, yeah. You know, which totally does some work on the way in. These are just Sword Guard, so we will very happily take the mobility that way as we try to get away here. That dude came back. Like, I was hoping to win this fight, but I think, yeah, we're under too much pressure. Let's just get out here. The Imperial Guard turned their back to some of our crossbows. They'll be regretting that one in the morning. Get the invisible elephant over here. Ping-pong the cavalry around. Get our little charge bonus knockbacks on those fools, and then rotate here. Can't get these guys out, so just gotta keep going. These are dual sword, no, big sword infantry, the Zhongmaxian. So we're just gonna try to get in and out. These, he's still got his horse, so we're just gonna try to get on the archers and split them up while we go to regroup here. As they flee there, a shameful display.
顽强不屈，尽情厮杀。
These guys have a bonus first large, but it's not like a I knock you off of your horse bonus first large, which is truly the only kind I care about.
毛兵注意，顽强不屈。
There we go. And of course, like clockwork, for the final act, somebody with poison volley shows up. Oh, and right on time, baby.
加快脚步，更快。
Get the followers of the flame back. We'll need them for this final act, of course.
在，不要留情，出手在此，跑步，赶快。
大步向前。
And now they bring Imperial Gate Guards up. Why? So they can get shot by crossbows. Amazing. He gives them a block chance. That's too bad.
准备好了，天将
I liked him better without it.
注意，
We've got headhunters coming in for the final act, and here, I think he got a little
跑起来！
caught out. But since he didn't charge into the spears, they're not gonna unhorse him.
动作快点！
And actually, it's fine. He's got some hit points, and that's more than none. That's all he'll need.
鼓起勇气，上！尽情厮杀！准备开战，感受大地的愤怒吧！
赶快，赶快！
Please take the shot. Please take the shot. Come on, come on, come on. Take the shot. Oh my goodness. Wow!
前进，快跑！
Brutal.
加快脚步，加快速度。
准备好了，杀！
Hong Fusong still having a party. We're just gonna go in here
鼓起勇
and try to do with the elephant what we couldn't do
时机已至，
here. Because now we'll yell at all of them
起勇气，杀呀！
and try.
准备开战。
Nope, too close. They, man!
前进，
I don't deserve Poison Volley as an ability. That's my takeaway. I don't deserve to have access to it.
做好准备，杀光敌军！
Like, if this is what I do with power and freedom, do I really deserve to rule the world?
注意，上！冲啊！
But, you know, one Poison Volley hits him, and honestly, it's worth it. I take back all the things I said about not being good. Because also, all we have here is sword guards, which means this is going to be the single greatest application of the elephant in history.
敌军四散而逃，到底是无胆鼠辈。
I think they got some gate guards, but this is actually literally what the elephant is for, right? Is when you have a blob fight and then you just run up and down it. Sure, it takes some hits, but these guys are super high quality things to be beating on.
杀呀！哈！敌军士兵正在溃逃。
And victory is ours.
加速前进，跑起来！
时机已至，
And honestly, what a great fight, right? What a glorious knockdown drag out. And of course, we know that we need to be chasing them down. Of course, we also know we hardly have our best units for it. But this mop-up should be able to get a tremendous amount of work done as we pop the gate guards and the crossbowmen you know, some of them. Because they had Imperial Army after Imperial Army, plus the garrison of the place, which, you know, this might not actually be, like, mop-upable. We might have to do, like, a real fight after this, because a lot of our armies weren't inside of our own land, but maybe on the retreat they were. We'll have to see. But, you know, a great victory. I'd call it heroic.
我军已兵临敌军城下，而敌军仍在做困兽之斗。
Because I don't think we got beat up so bad in that
正
fight.
义必胜，我等应设宴庆贺。
Well, I mean, we got beat up pretty bad in that fight. Okay. We deployed 7,000 troops and lost 3,000. They deployed 9,000 and lost 7,000. This war, man oh man. You know, it just goes to show... Because, yeah... I mean, great heroes, right? Level 9s, level 8s, everywhere. Like... Imperial stack after... This is a full Imperial army. And this is a partially Imperial plus Dragon army, plus Imperial stuff there. Plus a split of, like, Dragon... Like, this is a great army. This is probably the best army we've ever fought against. Now that I 5 more times right, I know. We get 125 fame and fortune. After a battle like that, we're not executing one guy.
我们需要如此虎狼之师。
What a brawl. Quick save. Alright, so we're obviously going to do this, and we're obviously going to win. But not right now. I want to eat something, so that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be the end of the video. What a brawl. You know, I kind of wanted to pop Cao Cao today, but honestly, I'm happier with the fight going that way because, I mean, he's really been fighting for it, right? This is not like, oh, they have the abdicate button thing, and sure, he would have had peace to winter, but like he, you know, he is sending armies, and they're great armies, and it feels like a worthwhile, like, endeavor that we're engaged in against him, you know, like, it's not like a pushover thing. For all that we rolled up the north, you know, once he got back into his power base, you know, he was able to put a lot of forces together, and it's great to get to do like a bigger scale battle and not have it totally fall apart. But when we come back, we'll do this one, and you know, we'll do the same thing as before. We'll try to provoke them to come forward, and then we will smash them with a hammer. But we got our, you know, negative fatigue thing from Ma Liang, and then Zhang Kai, of course, is a killer. And we've got just like one guy with a bow, but we can maybe take some shots at somebody, see if we can get him to come in at us or whatever. But it shouldn't be too rough, you know. They've got some good troops, but you know, the garrison isn't crazy. It'll just be more good stuff. Imperial army plus dragons, but Liu Bei's Imperial army is not fully replenished or anything yet, so that'll help too. Anyway, well, that's all I've got for you right now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed. I know I did. Luke, always a pleasure. Hope your campaign still keeps on going well. 40 years of doing Simon's Tree has hit the field. Vanguard crossbows. Negative 1,000 Diplo. But yeah. But anyway, that's all I got for you now. I'll be around tomorrow. It's my day off, but you know, probably playing, I don't know, something through the day, but probably this tomorrow night as well. But maybe we'll play this in the morning too. I can't predict the future. Anyway, I'll see you, man. Good night.